You know, it's so phenomenal that you've taken the time to show these kids, each and every one, as an individual, showing them love, care, compassion, because a lot of them, no doubt, they come in traumatized.
Sure.
Because, you know, this was such a blow. You know, my family, they feel all alone.
Yeah. You know, the remarkable thing to me, it never ceases to just catch me off guard. I'm always just stunned by this. No matter how horrific the story is that I hear from a child that comes to us, whether it be in foster care or whether it be in residential. And we've had kids who have literally been hiding out from the law and lived for weeks in a storage unit drinking stagnant water and getting food out of garbage. We've seen kids like that. We've seen kids even much worse than that. But every one of those kids, when they come to us, you know what their first natural reaction is? They want to go home. Because to them, that is normal. To them, that is home, and that's what home is about. And so it's our job to not only protect them from that type of situation, but our job is to heal them from thinking that that's normal, from thinking that that's what a home life should be, and giving them something different.
You know what I'm so thankful about? In our community and states and things like that, we have issues, we have problems, but we still have answers. That is phenomenal that we can help these kids get answers. And you know, there's so many kids, even right here in our community, that could use these services, because it's an alarming rate of how many children are subject under these drugs and stuff right in the homes, and they're cooking this stuff right around little innocent kids.
Right. Of those nearly 220 a day that we get, those are the ones that are reported. Those are the ones that we know about. Those are the ones that authorities hear about, or that the authorities act upon. How many do we go by that don't get reported, that don't get put into the system that we keep up with? I have no idea. I can only speculate. But I know that that's the 220 that happened today. There's more than that.
Right.
So you're right. And another thing that Sunrise is getting behind is we have started a coalition about a year and a half ago in Laurel County. It's called Rise Above Drugs. It's reaching individual students every day. It's part of an education program that we're implementing to educate not only the adults, but also the students and the children of Laurel County about the drugs. You know, the DARE program has been around for many years and does a great job of educating the youngsters. But there's a lapse that we have found with the DARE program, that it kind of stops around 5th and 6th grade. But that's a critical time with these kids.
Exactly.
Middle school is a critical time. I've got my oldest one is getting ready to go. He's in 6th grade. He's in the middle school in Pulaski County now, and I know what a critical time that is. And that's when we really need to step in and do something. That's what Rise Above Drugs is doing. Is we want to target those kids in early high school and middle school, so that as they go through, there is an answer, and they know for sure that there is an alternative to drugs out there. They get it when they're in elementary school, and it is effective. But when it stops, it kind of stops with them, and it gets out. You know, it's out of sight, out of mind. We want to keep in their sights. We want to keep them focused on that, just like we want to keep. We as Christians want to keep focused on God to direct our path.
So you all take the time to visit the schools and talk with the kids there and everything.
We're working with them, implementing some programs like that. We're working on doing we're hoping to do a documentary on the problem in Laurel County and how we're hoping to educate that. You know, it's no secret that people know of the drug problem in Laurel County and the surrounding counties, and you probably have heard many times, you see it in the paper about how they rate amongst the state. You know, it's good and bad to see that, and a lot of people look at that and say, well, we're number one in meth, or we're number this across the country. You know, I don't look at that as a black mark against Laurel County, because you've got county officials, you've got city police, you've got FBI, you've got DEA in Laurel County that a lot of people don't have. I look at that and say, you know what, the drug problem is the same across the state, because I get the same number of kids out of Laurel County as I do out of Pike County, or I do out of Jefferson County. But the difference is, you've got effective law enforcement that are like us, want to see an end to this drug problem. They know the chances are we'll never see an end to it, but we can make a dent. We can make a difference. And so I think the reporting is much better. I think that the local officials are actively out there pursuing the drug problem. That's why you're number one. You're not number one because you have the worst problem. You're number one because you've got the most effective law enforcement across the state who are making a difference.
That's wonderful.
We're stepping in side by side with them and helping preach that there is a problem, yes, but there are solutions.
I'm so glad for that too. I'm glad to belong to a town and a region that has targeted these drugs and say, hey, we're going to put a stop to it. And they're out there every day trying to do something.
Every day.
And it's heartbreaking when you see these young kids that are on these drugs.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see young ladies, 13 and 14 years old, that are pregnant.
Sure.
You know, kids having kids. You know,
Yeah.
there's so many issues, but I'm glad for the answers.
Yeah, and that's just a part of the cycle we talk about. And it's easy to say, well, let's just throw up our hands and say it's a problem, it's going to be a problem, it's always going to be a problem. It's kind of like the old story of the kid, you've probably heard it before, it's been used many times, of the kid who's walking along the beach and he's throwing starfish back into
Right.
to the ocean because so many had come up, and a man says, what are you doing? You can't save them all. He says, yeah, but I saved that one.
Right.
And that's our mentality. We know we can't get to everyone, but that doesn't stop us from trying to get to everyone.